Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miss Jillian Bartlett. I am an executive member and also the vice chair lady for the Coalition of Independence. That's the acronyms, but it means the Coalition of Independence, COI. Yes. And I am just so excited every time I read about the coalition's plan for the Bahamas because we are fighting for the Bahamians. We are educating the Bahamians with regards to a lot of things. I started off with the immigration model, and it was a solution rather than barking at it. And then I started with the good governance that was about integrity, bringing integrity back to one's government so people could be respectful and everybody can work cohesively together. And the third one was about the natural resources that you saw Mr. Bain spoke about in details on Sunday. Or was it the Chinese taking over the workforce? I don't know. One or the other. But he spoke to it in details and he was able to show you all of the documentaries that we have with regards to our natural resources. And then I decided, okay, it's time to do land. Land has about 45 pages, but believe me, the more you read it, the more educated you will be, the more you will be informed. If you tell me this 3 years ago when Mr. Lincoln Bain came to Grand Bahama and was dealing with some properties that have boundary issues, just complete corruption, people feel they could do anything they want on your generation property. I remember him telling me that it was complicated, and if he tried to explain it to me, I would be like, what are you talking about? But as I read it in Vision 2030, it's so relatable. But he's right. 3 years ago, if you asked me to read this information, we'd be backing up the wrong tree because I can tell you, no, this is complicated. Do you realize, Bahamians, you have 5 land laws? Start with the first one, the Quieting Act. It was way back in 1956, and then I guess Miss Ingram did something with it. Perry might have done something with it. Who knows? I don't know who did what and when they did it and who extended it. I don't know about all that. But that was the second one. And the third one was called an International Peoples Act. That don't sound like that's for the Bahamians. Nope, don't sound like it's for the Bahamians at all. That was number 3. And then, late 2020, no, 2025, sorry. We just passed this year. Late though, I'm telling you the time frame. Late 2025, the government of Bahamas presented the adjudication and they presented something called the Registration Act. So you got 2 extra ones, adjudication and the Registration Act. So if you didn't know about the Quieting Act and why that was formed, you're in trouble. But the COI wants to get rid of that one completely. They don't like that one at all. That is not working for the Bahamian people. But they want to work along with the Immovable Act. They want to work with that one, critique it, and maybe bring it up to some modernized standards, something. They want to work with that one, okay? But the Quieting Act, like I said, when I read this now, compared to reading this or trying to get a better understanding 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to retain all of these different laws. And I can imagine how the Bahamians feel right now. We like stimulation and entertainment and, loud rowing and talking profanity, but no, we're not interested in learning about the land in which you come from and the land in which everybody loves. I know you love it. I'm not taking that from you. I know you love it. But what I'm saying now is, because we didn't have a government working for us, we had a government working in government to maintain government. Remember that now. We didn't have a political party like we have now where they're educating the Bahamians and saying, well, we have a law for this, Yep, you didn't meet that requirement protocol. Nope, you can't just go and have a gambling law and don't bring a referendum. That was the last one. You all remember that, right? Nope, you can't have a smuggling bill coming in now because you break the protocol and you did not go to the Bahamian people and present it. Which reminds me, I listened to the House of Assembly today. I thought I was going to have convulsions. I thought I was going to break out in hives. I serious. I was like, God, I got to listen to this. Thank God they was in the House of Assembly for 10 minutes. Thank you, Jesus, because I couldn't take it. And what really actually, and let me be fair to them, okay? Let me be fair to them, which I know this is not going to last long. I must give the members of the House of Assembly who just returned after Christmas kudos. And let me tell you why. And I'm going to be fair. They all were acting very, very professional. So I'm going to give them the credit for that. Everybody know election is in 6 months. Less or more. And here they go. They came, they got prayed for again. How long they've been praying for them to act decent in the House of Assembly. But I have to give them credit today. They act professionals. But we all know what's at stake, right? Did y'all see the live feed that Mr. Bain did over the weekend? What does 150,000 Bahamians come together like that? Obviously, that's a hot bucket issue. Why would Chinese come and work? And the parks are allotted millions of dollars. And why isn't that money allotted to Bahamian people who are striving, moaning, need jobs? The young men need that park job. The young men could have come together and completely demolished that. Put a tennis court down. At least it'll be multi-purpose for a future tennis champion. Yeah, children can play tennis. They can run around, put a little slide and something on the side. But can we just evolve? Can we just evolve and do something different? I mean, I'm glad Mr. Bain decided not to be on his vacation. Yes, he did not. And he probably won't be taking no vacation. And he went and put the attention to that. I am so glad the man has listened. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he supports his candidates. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought I was in the twilight zone of... Is that a real Chinese man? Or is he a zombie? Why is he painting over old wood? Did he see those nails there? Did anybody can do renovation first? Don't they need to demolish this place? I mean, I was asking myself, what kind of question, if I had that job, I'd be like, come fellas, let's get rid of this, get rid of that. No, you can't paint first. You paint last. Every woman even knew that. You don't think them Chinese knew that? I'm sorry. Tell the Chinese and tell the ambassador of China we don't want them building no hospital for us. I heard in the House of Assembly, Dr. Tavel speaking in this tight suit. I mean, I gotta take my suit in because I'm the one who's the fitness trainer here. I gotta take this in tight. He's collaborating with the Chinese about the hospital. So Dr. Tavel, why we need you again? The Chinese volunteers. No, they ain't volunteers. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're getting paid. But that's me. I believe that. Came and painted over a basketball rim. I'm a woman. I don't do carpentry, but I do common sense. I didn't even replace it with something new. Who volunteers to do shabby job? And now Dr. Dabble in the House of Assembly talking about collaborating with the Chinese. Well, Bahamians, you all hear that? Today, 10-minute session in the House of Assembly. Come back. They ain't come back until the 13th. What the devil they gotta do until the 13th? Then again, anybody want to hear them talk. But Dr. Dabble said they're going to be collaborating with China. He works in the Ministry of Health. I had to speak in my Bahamian, like, we ain't got no hospital in Grand Bahamas. Serious. Ain't got no hospital nowhere, really. That's of any value. People dying. Y'all saw the woman? Y'all saw the woman who was there dying and nobody paid attention to her? So the Chinese are going to do voluntary work over the Bahamian young men who have their business, their license, compliant to VAT, have all their equipment, and they can't get that job? No, that's a job. That is not a volunteer. Is when you go buy the food, go cook it, and feed the people. Then you gotta watch what you're eating too. Not someone taking a paint that is toxin to children on a playground. Listen, I couldn't make sense of this. With Peter Glover, you are fired. You are fired. Do you understand? Because this ain't gonna never go over. We thought Minutes was bad. We thought Minutes was the COVID death announcer. And here you come, Glover. You actually show up on the premises. You show no embarrassment with your car. And people ain't got no car. And gas is what? $4.99? You have the audacity to even call in a show? To what? To justify what? I trying to make it make sense, but let me tell you. Dr. Dabble today in the House of Assembly, we're sending you a memo, Dr. Dabble. Please step down, because if the Chinese have any say or any doing in building any hospital in the Bahamas, the Bahamians don't want nothing to do with that. Do you understand, Dr. Dabble? You're fired. Why are you fired, Dr. Dabble? Why are you fired? Why you think? You're a doctor? You're not a developer. Okay, so why haven't you even complete the hospital in 4 years? It could take long to build no hospital. Why is it that government takes so long to build things? It's no urgency. You don't love the people. You say you love the people. No, you don't love the people. I mean, they put something in the House of Assembly today. Now, I remember, let me see if I can remember top of my head. Dr. Davel, you shocked me. I can't believe after you saw 150,000 people follow Mr. Lincoln Bain with that park situation with Global, and you still went there and say you collaborating with the Chinese. Y'all ain't listening to us. They say something about migrants, something. They didn't use smuggling, and they passed that. Okay, that's on the floor. Then they say something about some acre of land. All I hear was 1 million. I said, oh, wait now. I thought the land was going for 2 million. Push short. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. It's gone down. 1 million. I can't remember the acreage. And then there was another one that caught my attention. I wish I could remember 3 or 4 of them. Hospital. Something to do with immigration. They didn't say smuggling. Anyway, I can't remember the top of my head. But it's apparent that in the House of Assembly, we ain't got nobody representing us. They gonna build a hospital with Chinese. So what does that mean for Bahamian workers? Is this the same situation with Bahamas? Remember Bahamas, guys? Remember? It ended with close and sealing the courthouse. But look how long it took. And who they brought in? Chinese prisoners. I was living in Nassau. I saw them. I was running around Cable Beach. I was running by Goodman's Bay. That's where all these people come from. They were dressed a certain way, so we knew they were prisoners. And they had the executives out there too, and the foreman. They're just enjoying the beach, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do we want this to continue? But what really shocked me, and then I'm going to get on with the land talk. It is exciting to me, okay? I am excited, literally excited. What shocked me in the House of Assembly with the Merrily men and women who did act very professional today, and that's not going to continue. I know how they go. That's why I don't watch them anymore. What shocked me was when the speaker, got all the information, and those 5 things came on the floor. I don't know what they are. She said they're going to close and come back on the 13th, which is a Tuesday. I said, okay. All right, that's fine. And then she said something that I don't think y'all pick up on. Some of it, we know what the agenda is. And I was like, what she mean by we know what the agenda is when we get back? I was like, what does she mean by that? And Wayne Monroe stand up, and then somebody in the F&M was stand up and talking. He looked lukewarm. He didn't even look like his spirit was gone somewhere else. But Wayne Monroe was full engaged, confirming the date. And he said, yes, with an agenda when we came back. You all have to watch it. Because I'm wondering what agenda now. You cannot use that agenda talk around Bahamians. Because they can start thinking all kind of things. So what you mean? You just gonna Mother Pratt. Mother Pratt, you're not my mother, but that's the name they call you. Governor Pratt. I'm gonna call you that. You're not speaking. We're not feeling you, and I'm not calling out for you. Because if you spoke, that smuggling bill should not have passed today. These things were signed on the 5th and the 11th of December. And so here we are, trusting, loving Bahamians, trusting them to do the right thing. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. So these are the concerns I'm talking about with regards to Bahamian ownership after, well, it's 54. This is year 54. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say 54. Bahamian ownership after 54 years, but it's now in regards to our Crown land. What does the COI want to do for you? You don't just want to educate you, yeah? There's so much more the COI want to do. Because what happened at House Assembly today tells me exactly. Oh, now I remember. I can tell you what the COI can do soon. Oh, God. It was something to do with a bill where you can work on New Year's. Maybe I was hearing things. Yeah, I think I was hearing things. Something about a bill to be open on New Year's. Is this an urgent? And New Year's just finished? Ain't nobody home in the House Assembly, everybody. I'm telling you all this right now. Anyway, the Coalition of Independence wants you to have ownership of your land. But they don't want to just give you ownership. They want to also give you a sustainable way to be successful on your land. And I've read all of this before. They don't want to just give you a lot of property and then there is no pole, there's no running water, there's no plumbing. They don't want to do that. They don't want to set you up to fail. They want to set you up to be successful. This is another thing that the CY feels that's happening. You know how government will start a thing and never finish it? It's the same thing in land and survey, and I'm going to read that. They think that there's a lack of proper land registry. Like you should be able to go on your phone, hit the website and look around. You shouldn't have to be wondering, I wonder if Freeport got any crown land. I wonder if Abaco got crown land. Yeah, Abaco got plenty. I wonder if Nassau got still any more crown land. They just approved a land sale in the House of Assembly today for $1 million. I'm going like, what? Who? That's cheap. The COI know that the registry lacks a proper land registry. They know that. The COI already know that you have bureaucracy with your applications and when you go in and how long it take. Now, I really be seriously with this when I speak. I don't want y'all to think this is a casual conversation. This is a very important conversation. Anything I speak about, I literally either experience it, been there, seen it, done it. I'm quite aware how they operate. So you don't. You might be 25 and saying, oh my God, it can't be that bad. And then you go do it. Just like the young gentleman who is his own business, VAT compliant. He has his license, which he paid for. He actually have his landscaping equipment. And he couldn't get no job for no park. He's compliant with all the governmental requirements, and he can't get that. Everybody know when you go to the government, if they call you back that day, that's a miracle. If they text you, that's a miracle. If they read your email, that's a miracle. We are tired of the bureaucracy. Do you understand? The Coalition of Independence, the political party who would want to vie for the next government of the Bahamas, wants to clear that for you because they can make everything transparent. The Quieting Title Act, they just don't want that for you. That Quieting Act isn't the one for Bahamians, okay? They don't want that for you. They want a modern land management and proper mapping, which I'm going to read more of. This is what they want for you. They want you to be able to have a stake in your own country with your land. And they don't want there to be confusion with boundaries. Do you understand? Not election boundaries, Bahamians. I talk about boundaries. So it don't get mixed up and everybody fighting each other for land and family talking to each other because the land this and the land that. And, it just goes on and on and on. It needs some clarity. The government has not been able to actually fully complete modernizing the land and survey department. Bahamians, the government just tell you all in their first day coming back, they can work with the Chinese to build a hospital. That should be a big concern. China and the Bahamas are completely two different type of people, first of all. We don't need their trinkets no more after 43 years. I'm sorry. Y'all don't think y'all are ready enough to contractors of the Bahamas, in the Bahamas, all over the Bahamas, the ones who are part of the Contractors Association. Y'all don't get tired of this? Y'all don't get tired of people coming, they can build a hospital. It was in the House of Assembly today. I know one day, I ain't no building, I tired of hearing it. So I'm now going to commence on page 27. There's 45 pages. They're very short and they're very easy to read. So I'm picking at this one because I want you to be totally informed. I'm at 4.2, which features the National Land Registry. I want you to keep saying that because that's important. The COI want to feature the National Land Registry. We're not doing this for nobody else but the Bahamians who are tired of the bureaucracy and want easy access to the Crown land that was given to them by the Crown, which is the British. That's all they want to do. They're not asking you anything else. They want you to be empowered, and that's all you got to know. That ain't nothing else, okay? No tricks, no games, no nothing. I want my land too. And just so you know, we're not joking, okay? Listen, I ain't got time to play. If you all think we got time to play, here is a proper application. A little outdated, but listen, this is what we got to deal with. We don't have anything online that you could do, like we are banking online to fill out. I am filling out my applications. I am not playing this because I am entitled to my land, because I am a Bahamian. The COI wants to create a land registry within 1 to 5 years. Now, please keep in mind that this and the previous governments have not been completed. So you got to give us time. Give us 1 to 5 years so we can deal with our land registry, which is still in the dark ages, okay? The government just announced on the floor of the House of Assembly today, all right? And this is a new year, and it ain't nothing new. I keep telling y'all, enjoy it, but when you come back in 2026, the same old crowd, just the same people telling you something, and it ain't making no sense. So they will collaborate with the Chinese to build a hospital. I thought that wasn't happening anymore, and probably bring the smuggling bill back. This is what's happening today, not tomorrow, today. Okay? Oh my gosh, sometimes I see why I gotta heist my shoulder up. They are talking about cutting boundaries. You already know. Piboney is part of that. Something called St. James and something someplace else. These boundary cuts are happening. Our population have not grown profoundly like we know. I mean, we got statistics out there. I think the last time I Google, I think it was 412 to 17,000. 400,000. I think it's up to that. But I wrote it down somewhere. So they're talking about some sale of land, another $1 million sold. Yeah, cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And that's what I pick up in the House of Assembly. Now, further to Vision 2030 plans for the Bahamians, because I'm talking to you. It doesn't matter what political side you're on, okay? You're Bahamian, you're Bahamian. The coalition will start a comprehensive parcel mapping. Before this is accomplished, now please, you'll have to remember, we have to do things in order. We need a land audit. You cannot expect not to have a proper sense of a situation before we can introduce fixing it. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of work needs to be done for that. Now remember now, this isn't new. I'm going to let you know, and I've said it previously. I worked with Remax Real Estate Agency, and if we wanted to figure out an apartment, a plot of land, a whole entire island, it was on the site. So this isn't new, and I don't understand why the government can't complete so there are not confusion with boundary and family fighting family for land and people squatting on land which belongs to the Bahamians. I don't know why they don't complete it. So a land audit is definitely going to happen under the COI. And I agree totally. And I'm sure many of you are watching me agree, because that's the proper way of doing things. You take an assessment first, then you get to work, okay? Just so you know, there isn't, that's not new, like I said before. The COI political party will definitely be the party that will do it as a government within the governmental departments in the land and survey. It ain't nothing new, you know. I'm just letting you know it ain't new. So further to this, in section 1 will be a map out every parcel of land in the Bahamas. This is important. And the reason why it's important, and I'm going to put my pen in there too, because when I wanted to go to the Stone Age Registry Department, somewhere there, downtown, there's a machine and you have to scroll it, and then across it. I'm sure that's not there anymore. I'm hoping it's not there anymore. And then you'll see information according to what you're searching for. I'm sure that's not there anymore. No, that's not there anymore. But the COI would like a proper mapping of the land in the Bahamas, okay? Because I can't believe that always still there. There's a real estate agent who all have computers, and computers are out. They have portable laptops, which are portable. You can take it anywhere. This is in existence. I don't know if it's in government departments, and you can cite any parcel of land now. Real estate agents do this. We can't continue to be in the dark ages forever under governments. The Bahamas, with its GPS, GIS, precision, the earlier Bahamas National GIS, and I'm doing the acronyms, BNGIS, close bracket, project in 1999 to 2001. Please keep those dates in mind. Made progress in compiling data. Compiling data is great, but it's not completed. That's what I'm trying to say here, okay? What the COI political party will do is to update it and complete the work. Can you tell me why the government in the Bahamas isn't doing the work and their jobs? But the COI wants to complete the work. And how will this be done under the COI? Easy. Each parcel will be assigned a unique, it ain't so boring, right? A unique parcel identification number. Okay, I think that's done on documents. If you have a land paper document, there is a specific number, but it's going to be a little more digital and easier access, okay? And it will be unique. This unique number, it will let you, let me just let that sink in for a little bit because I don't want to just gloss over it, because parceling, mapping, boundary information is so important. This is why Bahamians are constantly in court with their own family members, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be this way. So all of this is important information that will make the Bahamian people lives more easier and remove the bureaucracy confusion that exists at this moment. It's about being more organized. What's the other enhancement with regards to this upgrading of the land registry? Well, another enhancement is modern technology. First, we need a government like the COI to complete the job, but now they're going to bring it up to speed where the technology is more modern and the satellite imageries will make it more feasible, especially for the keys and islands. And everybody know every key island and rock, 700 plus and more growing under the Aragonite, needs to be actually captured. The images need to be captured properly. I mean, every key to develop. Sometimes I think we have more than 700. I think it's increasing because there's some things just growing around in our islands and little keys are just popping up everywhere. And we need to know. We need to know. Remember when they used to always have this advertising, it's better in the Bahamas, it's better in the Bahamas, it's better in the Bahamas, it's better in the... And they were like, what do you mean it's better in the Bahamas, miss? That's a tourism attraction. No, food expensive. Food is expensive. Gas is expensive. Hospital is expensive. Sending your children away to school is expensive. Everything is expensive, expensive, expensive. Milk is expensive. That doesn't trickle down. We have 700 islands to preserve and to protect. And the majority of it has multiple natural resources. I'm not even talking about the fish. That's also a natural resources. So it's time for an official castoral map. I was supposed to Google that castoral map, but anyway, I did Google it, and I said that it's a more modern land survey document that's more visibly presenting property, boundaries, ownership, parcel number, and land division, and so much more. That hasn't been accomplished. Data was accumulated, but the work has not been completed, and that's hence why we need a COI government. Compared with the last use of it, and I was telling you in the dark ages, and this is only like maybe 10 years ago, I was looking for certain documents and, relevant information that I needed at the time. I could have swore it was like something you pull down. It was like a TV screen. Or was it that I got in the office in Nassau, as you coming up off Shirley Street, there's an office there. I think they move it now. It was like really in a small building with squeezy stairs and stuff. And you have to wait for information, and then they have you sitting down and people walking all over the place. Everybody looks dysfunctional. That's what I had to go through just to maintain or get some information. I won't tell you what happened to me when I actually went into the land and survey office to actually fill out. Yeah, this application here is still on paper. It's not online. Yeah, we still in dark ages. Remember when they used to use the carbon copy to put between the 2Ds so you could have a copy and they could have the original? I did do that. I went through that, and what happened? I think at the time the FNM won, not under Minutes. This is before Minutes. And there was a lot of talk about corruption within the Land and Slavery Department. And guess what happened to my application? Never heard of again. This is where we are. That was then. Could have been 15 years ago, I don't know. All right, so what we have here, compared to what I've last used, it is a machine, which is in the dark ages. But here we are now. We're now on page 27. We're at 4.2, and it's looking excellent. I tell you, when I read it, I get excited. I never thought in my wildest dream 3 years ago when Mr. Bain came down to Ibarok to help us with our property, and we had some problems with the generation property. I never thought in my wildest dream I'd find this fascinating. We got 5 land laws. Why so many? Why we need so many? The COI wants to deal with the Immovable Act. That's the one he feels under our Vision 2030, that will be the one to help the Bahamians to make sure that there's a level playing field, that no one's taking up their crown land but them. It shouldn't be under investment either. And I see a lot of land that's been sold under the crown land, a lot of generation property on beaches by Bahamians whose family could not probably afford the property taxes, and the land was taken. That is unfair. A government is not supposed to do that. They're supposed to protect you. Just keep in mind that these efforts were attempted, right? But never completed, like I said, and that's worth repeating over and over again. And the issue is escalated now that we have 5 land laws, which I've told you about. The Quieting Act that the COI definitely, according to our mandate, will not be supporting. The Immovable Act, they will tweak it to make sure it works in conjunction with the Crown land that the Bahamian people are entitled to get. There will be no more bureaucracy with that. Then we got something called the IPAL. I don't even know why we have that. The international people, come on people, let's deal with our own people. Then we have late 2025. And I saw the Adjudication Act and Registry Act even before I saw this on our site, because I had to Google something and I want to know personally for myself, do we have any extra laws should I know about? And then I saw it in 4.2 where actually the COI is talking about the Adjudication Act and the Registry Act for the land. The House of Assembly just put it on the floor late 2025. I want to end here. I'm not going to be long. The COI will eliminate the quieting title abuse. They find that that's a vexing one with Bahamian, and it's been abusively used by the governments and not protecting its Bahamian people with land ownership. With land ownership, you become, I believe, when you look at the rental as opposed to land ownership, we need a facelift, quick. And this is why the COI is here. They're educating, they're representing the Bahamians with a concern. Who wants to be? You're young. Why you young, living in an apartment with your wife? Please tell me why. That is unfair. You should have been on your land. Yes, you can build a temporary whatever whilst you build your actual home. I think Bahamians, especially men, once given, will be more productive men in our society. once given what is rightfully theirs, they'll be jumping over hoops to get their families situated in a proper home. Rentals are outdated. Bahamians need to own their land. It was given to qualified Bahamians, the Crown land, by the British, which we're still under. And I don't feel the government is representing us in entirety. I think the government is gung-ho on just keep selling it off the highest bidder. I just keep seeing it and I keep asking, why do we need another Disney World? The mouse need to be in the Bahamas now? No, it doesn't. That should be a choice. They shouldn't be in the Bahamas. I really don't think, I feel that way. I don't think they should be in the Bahamas. I think that somewhere along the line, the investors within the Bahamas have been given a carte blanche opportunity. And we can see many of those opportunities are failing. Need I mention Port Lucaya? Need I mention that? Thriving. And now, I don't know what it's doing. It's sitting there. I don't want that to be another bazaar where we had a thriving casino. Not that I'm into gambling, but at least it brought entertainment, jobs. It brought, the taxis were happier, the taxi drivers were happier. There wasn't this governmental interference with the tour companies where the government is in business with the tour company. And taxi drivers are hustling to just park downtown, to do something in Freeport. This shouldn't be. And we do need a government that's looking out for its people first. It's time. This year we will be celebrating our 54th anniversary. In the House of Assembly, the government told y'all they're doing the business with the Chinese. After the Chinese came into one of our constituencies, which I mean Adderley constituency, and did a botch. I don't even call it a volunteer job. I don't know what to call it. And y'all allow the government to open the House of Assembly in 2026 talking about doing a hotel with the Chinese. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna allow government to put across the table some acre, I can't remember the amount of acres, for $1 million. Y'all gonna allow that. Y'all gonna allow Mother Pratt to sit there and think she gonna not be held accountable for stopping the smuggling bill. That they didn't call it a smuggling bill because I didn't hear that. Y'all gonna allow the government to come back in the House of Assembly on the 13th because with one agenda they said, like what agenda was that? You're gonna open the stores, you're gonna put on the table, you open the stores for New Year's now? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking this is what I'm thinking. This is how God has confounded them on their way out. This is how God does it. I see it in every time for election season. The government do the most atrocious, unbelievable, unsteady decision they make, and things that come out their mouth be like, are they joking? Can we take you all serious for 1 second? And they coming back with the agenda. Please, everybody, listen, it's worth watching what they said and the bills that they introduced today. I mean, they were professionals. I was so proud of them. But then when I think about it, what's the agenda going forward into election? Passing a bill for opening for New Year's? I was wondering if I was hearing right. I'm so serious. Maybe sometime I hear things. Maybe, there's a lot going on. So maybe I didn't hear that. But there was a bill. Something about Opening on Sunday. I was like, opening on, no, it didn't say Sunday, sorry. It said New Year's. I was like, I don't get it. Then I definitely heard Davel come up and say something about a hospital in the Chinese and collaborating. Definitely heard that. I definitely heard something about immigration, but I didn't hear smuggling. I'll probably take that bill, that name out. I didn't hear Mother Pratt made a formal statement. I hear everybody wishing everybody Happy New Year like it's happy. I don't know what part of they don't get. The people ain't happy. The people are not. I mean, I don't know why. Y'all listen to it and maybe y'all can gauge for yourselves. Who sells a parcel of land for $1 million? I show y'all all the lands that was sold in Andres, 130 acres, $18 million for a egg farm. Somebody's getting a island boutique again. That's fine, 30 acres. Could be a Bahamian, so I'm not hurting my head about it. But is this, I think the biggest one for me is the 660 million to expand the container port, Grand Bahama. My grandson, you're ready to work there yet, so you won't be working for them. You're going to be your own boss. My granddaughter, she's going to be working there. Yeah. 200 jobs. Is this showboating again? Remember now, Minutes did it. Minutes came all the way to Freeport with this whole cabinet, and they said we're gonna have another cruise port. Minutes, but then you call a snap election. Wow. Now guess what? I'm sorry to bring this up, because this is supposed to be about educating you. The vendors in the Port Lucaya, vendors in the straw market, the artisans in the straw market, I don't know if they make things anymore. Chester Cooper, y'all were dancing and y'all had a big parade and y'all was saying that the hotel's open. Y'all did it to the people. Y'all went to Port Lucaya. Somebody fell on the ground. Was it Minutes fell on the ground dancing with Ginger? Was that for real? Y'all sit in the House of Assembly and knowing, again, the vendors in Port Lucaya. Yeah, I saw up talking, but I don't trust him. Sorry, you're doing it again. Your party has failed the people, but you don't have the inclination to go and tell them. But you rather, you just got married a couple of years ago. You have a child. You know what's happening in Port Lucaya. It's called nothing. And now you all think you could just come and talk. You voted for PLP. Talking, we ain't want to hear it. We ain't listening to that. It ain't working no more for y'all. And this time, when the people do it, it can be massive. And believe me, the COI and all its people are ready. Never been more ready in our whole entire life. Every candidate is ready. Every person who support, even the people in the communities are ready. Just saying we ain't talking this. We come to work. Alright, well, that's it for me for now. But I want you to read up on the land, because land is important to Bahamians. No longer should they be renting in sleazy rental. The rental is higher than your light bill. We need something to make some sense now, okay? We really do. All right, everybody, that's it for me. My name is Jillian Bartlett. I am the Vice Chair Lady in Grand Bahama for the Coalition of Independence. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.